You're watching Taste of Victory. Minerva Loop is one of the most hyped decks in this format because it's crazy to see an old deck like Lilith Loop come back even stronger than ever with a whole new boss monster to make it even more consistent. So this combo relies on Minervamon and Revive from Darkness. These are the two main cards that are going to do it, so we're going to start there and work our way down. First up is Minervamon. She is 12 to hardcast, 3 memory to Digivolve, 11,000 DP, Retaliation, and then also opponent's turn. When your opponent plays a Digimon, you may play 1 purple level 4 or lower Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost. Any on-play effects on a Digimon play with this effect don't activate. On deletion, if your opponent has 2 or less Digimon in play, you may play 1 purple level 5 or lower Digimon or 1 Minervamon for your trash without paying its memory cost. Then we have Revive from Darkness. For to use, main, delete one of your purple Digimon. Then you may play 1 level 5 or lower purple Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost. Any on-play effects on Digimon play with this effect don't activate. So here is where the combo comes in. You go up to Minervamon, you build whatever in the stack, you use Revive from Darkness on it. You get any of your when deleted inheritable effects off, get those out the way. And then with Revive from Darkness, immediately the first thing you want to do is specify with Revive from Darkness, you are going to play Cerberusmon, because Revive from Darkness does not let you get any of its on-play effects off of its Revive. So you want to play regular Cerberusmon, who you don't care about the on-play effects. And then if you look at Minervamon carefully, it does not prevent on-plays from going off. Then, after you've done that, you want to use Minervamon's effect to revive Cerberusmon, who then will get his on-play effects, which lets you delete one of your Cerberusmon to gain 9 whole memory. So, subtracting the memory you spent on Revive from Darkness, you are gaining a total net of 5 memory off of this play together. And basically, you kind of keep doing that over and over again because this guy has Rush, so you get to swing at security, hope it lives, or clear something on board, Digivolve up, do it all over again. And since you have on deletions at the bottom end that draw you stuff when deleted, you get to do a lot of digging to hopefully, if you don't already have it, see the pieces that you are missing to keep the loop going. And you kind of just do that over and over again until you can finish them off. So that is the main strategy, and let's see how we are building up towards that. First up, we have our egg, and the only one we are running because it's basically the best purple egg right now, DemiMeramon. On deletion, trigger, draw 1, then trash 1 card from your hand. So as mentioned, this is really important to make sure you keep drawing into your pieces and continuing the loop, and it's basically the most reliable purple egg in terms of setting off and getting really good draws and trash manipulation. So then let's move on to our rookies. We have 10, which is a low count, but we need to make room for all the stuff that you want to run in this deck. We start off with Gabumon, who are basically running for the same reason we are running DemiMeramon. It's inheritable, it's on deletion, trigger, draw 2, and then trash 1 card for your hand. So it lets you dig even deeper. In the same stack, this gives you a total of 3 draws and trash 2 to really set up your trash for anything you want in there. So it's really good to be able to make sure you see what you need. From there, our rookie lineup basically just becomes toolboxing, and we are just adding stuff in for what we think we will need in the meta and what we think we will need most out of our bottom end for our on deletion effects. First up is Gazimon. It prevents your opponent from gaining memory except with Samer, so this is amazing against Blue Flare to stop all their memory boosts and Hammer Spark if they're running that, or any other blue deck that's running Hammer Spark. It's great against the mirror too, so that you could stop them for their turn if they don't see their Death Claw in time, and then you just delete your Gazimon by either using an option or swinging into security, and then you can pop off. So it's really good into this format to stop things from gaining memory. It stops Bloom Lord as well if that ends up becoming a problem, so fantastic there. After that, we got Tsukaimon. So this one, it's just on deletion, gain 1 memory. So I really like this rookie because a lot of time in this game, being 1 memory off, just 1 memory is a death sentence that will end your turn abruptly. So this usually gives you just that 1 memory that you are missing to be able to keep popping off and continue extending your loop. I really like having this in stack to gain that extra memory. So that's why we're running it at 2. And then we have 2 Psychemon. So Psychemon is all turns, players can't reduce play costs. So this stops Crossheart. This stops all Digicross related decks really. So Psychemon is really strong for that reason, which is why we are running it at 2. And really, depending what you see more of, you're going to want to play with these ratios for which one your local environment will require. So you can maybe drop Gazi to 1, this guy up to 3 if Crossheart is a huge menace at your deck. So just play around with it for yourself until you get comfortable with it. That wraps up our rookies. We move on to our champions, of which we are only running 8. First up is Ginkakumon Promote. We're basically just running this for the ability that it has Rush and can Digivolve over a level 4 for only 1, potentially giving us cheap cycle, potentially giving something that was played out through another effect Rush because you evoed over it. And if you play it off of the revival of your other effects in this deck, we could get lethal with it because of its Rush effect. This synergizes very well with Mastemon that we see up here. Next up is Eyesmon Scatter Mode. This is a really important champion in this deck because it has on deletion, draw 3, then trash 2 cards in your hand. So this lets you draw a ton, and then you get to discard stuff like the other Eyesmon if you see it, or things that you want in your trash to revive later. It's really important to make sure you are able to dig for anything you are missing before you could go into your full committed stack for your combo. Then we just got the Eyesmon. It summons itself off of the Eyesmon scatter mode if you already have one in trash. So for that fringe scenario where it may come up, it's really useful. Then we just have two Devimon because they are a blocker, which is always great to protect yourself from lethal, and it's a 1-cost each evolution, so it's really great to climb up fast and cheap in your stack. Then we move on to our ultimates. We are running 9, and these two big dogs are the main enablers for the strategy. We have Cerberusmon, who is on deletion, trigger draw 2, then trash 1 card in your hand. He is 3 to Digivolve, 6000 DP, 6 to Heart Slam. So you don't really care much else other than it's on deletion because that helps you draw a ton and then also fills up your trash. So it's really good to make sure you're always seeing the pieces constantly in your hand to keep the loop going. Usually you're going to be playing that off of Revive from Darkness, and you're not going to be Digivolving into it unless you really have to. Then we have Cerberusmon Werewolf mode. It has Rush, 3 to Digivolve, 9000 DP. On play, you may delete one of your Cerberusmons to gain 9 memory. So this is basically where the loop starts coming in. This is the guy who's gaining you all that memory. Keep in mind, this is 9 to Heart Slam, so we have an Omnimon Sword over here. We'll get into his effect more in depth in a second, but he cannot play Cerberusmon Werewolf mode because he is 9 cost. Our final ultimate is Lucemon Chaos mode. This is incredibly important for removal in the deck. You have, we don't really care about its first effect since we're not going to Digivolve ever over Lucemon, but for every 10 cards in your trash, reduce the memory cost when playing this card from your hand by 3, and then on play, when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Tamers or level 6 or lower Digimon. If your opponent just invested into some Tamers and you have Omnimon Sword ready to go or Minerva ready to go, you could get huge advantage off of this by deleting that right away for free because you're not having to worry about its expensive play cost. This is just great diverse utility to provide Tamer removal when you need it or level 6 or lower removal. Awesome card. And then you still have a body on field to poke its security with. And finally, we get to our mega lineup. First up is Minervamon. We already went over why it's so incredible in this deck. It's also really good into the format because against Crossheart, as long as this thing is out, they're always going to be playing into your first opponent's turn effect because Digicross is playing the Digimon, so you'll be able to play out stuff to interrupt their plays and annoy them, prevent lethal, multitude of things you can do with it. It's a really great boss monster. After her, we have Mastemon. So it's 4 to Digivolve from a purple or yellow level 5, 12,000 DP. When Digivolving, trash 1 card from the top of both player security stacks with a level of 4 or less from your trash without paying its memory cost. So you're basically always going to be reviving Ginkakumon promote and kind of saving this as lethal. But if there's a situation where you need a blocker or something like that, you could also do that as well because our blocker is level 4. Another fantastic thing about it is that this basically turns 1 stack into lethal when your opponent is at 2 security because you trash 1 safely, and assuming the last one isn't anything disastrous, you swing this and then you swing promote and you got game off of 2 security already. So it's really awesome to potentially end the game earlier. And then also trashing that security is huge because you don't need that extra stress and risk of what it might be. So even if you're only like at 1 security left, you might as well bring this out instead of swinging and doing another phase of the loop so you don't have to worry about that last security. I think Mastemon is an amazing backup to have. Then we have Lilithmon to help you as an extender because this is a classic queen all the way from BT1. It is 3 to Digivolve, 11,000 DP. When Digivolving, if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, you may return up to 2 purple option cards from your trash to your hand. So you're usually going to be grabbing back Revive from Darknesses, Jack Raids, Calling if you need to grab something else. And then your turn, once per turn, when you use an option card, gain 2 memory. So Lilith is a fantastic extender that lets you keep going on with your loop. So that's why we are running at least 1 copy of it to make sure we have it for those situations where you need it. After that, the last Digimon we are running are simply level 7s. We have DeathXmon. I think a lot of people probably know why this card is absolutely ridiculous. It's a complete board clear on legs, and then it keeps doing it every turn. It's amazing. It wins games. Then we have Omnimon Zwart. So this is a good old classic card from all the way back in BT5. Nice to see him again. It digivolves from a black or purple level 6 for 6. It has 15,000 DP. It has the when digivolving effect. Trash the top 3 cards of your deck. Then you may play up to 2 black or purple Digimon cards that has a play cost of 8 or less from their trash without paying its memory cost. So this is another way to get the regular Cerberusmon out. This could potentially present lethal with the promote if you're able to recycle it again with how much memory you get. So that's a really good digivolving effect. And then when attacking, you may return 1 level 6 Digimon card from this Digimon Digivolution card to your hand to delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon that has a play cost of 12 or less. So as when attacking is really good as well. It gets you extra removal, and then you also get to recycle your Minervamon or whatever you digivolved over to get another copy of it and start looping again if you have a second stack. So Omnimon Sword is fantastic to help you extend your plays. Our options start off with Jack Ray. We're running 3 of it because I feel that's a perfect amount to not brick on it too early in the game because you do need to set up your trash before it's live. Is 0 to play, but then you get 1 memory for every 10 cards in your trash. So late game, this card goes absolutely crazy, but you don't want to draw into it too early. We already went over Revive from Darkness and how important it is to be the main facilitator of the loop. Then we have Calling from Darkness because this thing is insane. 1 cost, main, delete one of your Digimon, period. Then return up to 2 purple Digimon cards from your trash to your hand. So because of the way it's worded, you don't need to delete one of your Digimon. As if your board is empty, you can still use this card, and it's kind of absurd. It's really awesome to make sure you always have your resources up and able to keep recycling and keep doing the loop if you run out of Cerberusmons or Werewolves or Minervas. We have Dead or Alive, which is basically just for the Lucemon. It is 8 cost. Main, play 1 purple level 5 Digimon card for your trash without paying its memory cost. If you have 10 or more cards in your trash, you can play 1 Digimon card with Lucemon in its name without paying its memory cost. So when this thing comes out of security, it's incredible. This does so much coming out of security because you basically got a Lucemon for free. It basically becomes a Gaia Force on legs. Then we have 2 copies of Deathclaw. It's only 1 cost. Main, you may delete one of your Digimon to delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Security effect, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So security, it's awesome because it prevents lethal potentially, but we mainly want this to get rid of memory blockers. Madoki Betamon, stuff like that is a death sentence for this deck since we rely so much on gaining that memory, so we need to get rid of it. I personally really like 2 because a lot of people will run it at 1 and be like, you have so much draw, it's okay. But like, that's still a 1 in 45 chance of like seeing it at any point, and I do not like those odds. Even with all the draws, I still would rather have it, especially since a lot of your draws are reliant on you being deleted. So if security is not working with you, if you're not seeing your other deletion options, like you're not going to have as much draw. So personally, I really like 2 to make sure I have very good odds of seeing it. We got our 1-of Memory Tamer, which is Matt Ishida. On play, he lets you return 1 purple Digimon card or option from your trash to your hand. So this basically ups the counts of any option you have by 1, and it also lets you grab back a Digimon that you may be missing for your combo without passing turn with how much memory you get. So Matt is a great extender while also guaranteeing you 3 memory, so you don't have to worry about getting choked. Finally, our last tamer is going to be Analog Youth. This card just has so much synergy with purple. It's only 2, which is absurd. It has the on-play reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card among them to your hand, which already helps you dig for pieces you're missing, but then you also get to trash the remaining cards to fill up your trash and set it up for anything that needs 10 or more in trash, or just to have stuff to revive ready. So that's awesome synergy with the entire color of purple. And then you have all turns when one of your level 5 or higher Digimon with Digivolution cards is deleted, you may suspend this tamer. If you do, gain 1 memory and hatch 1 Digia card to an empty space in your breeding area. So this paired with Tsukaimon and anything else, like you gain so much memory off of deletion. Yeah, you also get to set up your raising area right away again, and that potentially is another draw for free if you have a rookie in hand. So this does so much in 1 card to help keep your consistency up. I love Analog Youth. It's really powerful. And that is going to be the deck. Minerva Loop is definitely a deck with a learning curve that you need to practice with. But once you get it down, it becomes second nature. And it's honestly an easier build to pilot than previous iterations of Lilith Loop. So if you were interested in that deck before, I would consider picking this up and giving the deck another try here, because this is awesome, consistent, and it's going to be a really good deck in the Booster Set 10 format. Let me know what changes you guys are making, because while a lot of this is the same, like a lot of lists floating around are going to be very similar because there's only so much you can diverge in the list without ruining consistency and the combo itself. Everyone's going to have their cute little tech choices, so let me know what you guys are running, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time, and until then, remember to stay hungry until you get a taste of victory.